Cool. Got that working. Is there no training grounds yet? Ooh. Hello there. Good to see you all tonight. The Matrimonium just started, so I figure I'm gonna go ahead and jump in there in just a moment and take a look at the event. Let's take a look at the rewards and how the objectives are gonna play out, and then let's go ahead and play it. So, all right, we've got color-based nodes. So I know that they said that they would be, but I wasn't sure if they would actually be. So they definitely are. I'm just going to check and see that the rewards are in line with what they said they would be. So 3 Crimson Vow Packs, some Mana Jewels, and some Crystals. You don't get any rewards for individual placement, but you do potentially get rewards for coalition placement. Okay. That looks good. How are you all tonight? I hope you're doing well. I'm going to play one node in the training grounds before I go into the Matrimonium. I just want to make sure that the game is actually like functioning okay. I always do that if I can before I hop into a coalition event. Just sometimes when you try and hop into a coalition event, bad things happen to your life, and I don't want those bad things to happen to my life just quite yet. So I do, however, while I'm waiting, I want to test out my Hullbreaker Horror and Runo Stormkirk a deck idea. So Runo, I want to go ahead and use this. It's going to reinforce Krakens and stuff. So let's just do this for Cruds and Giggles. Actually, there's another Kraken that's kind of cool. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Let's try gather the pack. Hey there, Sergio. Just not too much. Just chilling before I start playing the Matrimonium. So I'm expecting that the game will likely run just fine, but I just want to be sure. You never know. Sometimes the game is incredibly evil. Usually it's quite lovely, but you always have to be careful. So just putting together really quickly my Kraken deck that I've been wanting to try, and then I'm going to just head straight into my nodes. And we'll get to see if the event works as it's supposed to, or if it's bugged, or what, I suppose. I'm expecting that it will work just fine, but yeah, you never know with Puzzle Quest. Hey, Jason. How are you? So yeah, you guys are going to get to see the decks that I'm running for the event, for sure. I'm going to be running, obviously, the decks that I want to use. Yeah. All right, let's try this real fast for just a quick match. I could make a better version of this that uses Echoing Equation. Echoing Equation plus the Runo Kraken is probably pretty crazy. But if you're just tuning into the stream, I'm just trying to make sure that the game is functioning okay before I actually hop into any kinds of nodes. So I'm a little bit worried always when a new event comes out about playing it right as soon as it comes out, just in case like some kind of whack-diddy-doo-dah thing happens. So I definitely don't want that to happen right now. So I'm playing it safe. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and use Living Sum here because I want Gather the Pack. And of course, I'm not allowed to have Gather the Pack because the game has decided that I am not worthy, which is honestly actually kind of fair, but it would have been nice if it had determined that I was evening. I was evening? Worthy. That was it. Worthy. Words are hard sometimes, and I don't know why. Probably has something to do with sleep deprivation. Don't do it, kids. Don't get sleep deprived. It's bad for you. And yet, I don't take my own advice. So, alas, oh well. Gosh, you get 3 colored matches, and you get 3 mana. That's brutal. Well, that's okay. My binding here is going to get me some mana. So let's take the horizontal match here. So we're going to get rid of my opponent's critter. We're going to get a whole bunch of mana. And of course my opponent gets a huge match. That's delightful. Absolutely spanking. That's what you love to see. Getting another one of those, though, is actually what you would really actually like to see. So gather the pack, please. Thank you. Cool. So how does this guy transform? At the beginning of your turn, pick one, fetch it. If it's 18 or more, transform this. And then, oh, okay, so it doesn't bring them back. Well, that's borderline disappointing. Not actually disappointing, but just borderline disappointing. You know? I know. I told you, Andrew, I'm planning to stream like almost every single day up until I head to visit my family for the holidays. So here, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and flip this dude, and now our Kraken is going to do some absolutely crazy things here. So okay, so we've got a 5 match. I'm definitely going to go ahead and take that. Unfortunately, there is not a horizontal match, so I'm actually going to freeze that thing down, and I'm going to play the Hull Breaker here. I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this thing twice, and start smacking down on my opponent. I'm going to guess that Ugin has like 2 turns left to live. That's my guess, especially after that foolhardy play right there. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to be able to get rid of basically everything that Ugin treasures in life, which is good. We obviously want to get rid of all of the things that Ugin treasures in life. But there's still no horizontal matches. Sometimes, game. Sometimes. Whatever. I want to get rid of my opponent's creature here, so that's totally fine. I want another Runo, just so that I can transform my dudes, and I want to get rid of my opponent's land, so here Runo is going to transform because I'm going to bring back a Hullbreaker, which means that on combat on my turn, good things are going to happen. I'm going to freeze down that Runo that's in my hand right there, just to ensure that if my opponent gets rid of Runo again, that, you know, we're still going to be spanking them, because obviously I imagine that the dragon likes that kind of thing. Gather the Pack is a must with Runo, because that's how you're guaranteed going to be getting your critters in the graveyard. So if you're trying to run Runo, definitely run Runo with Gather the Pack. This is very over. That's easy peasy. Okay, let's jump into the Matrimonium. That worked out just fine. The game didn't like do any kind of its horrible stutter stuff, and obviously the game didn't crash. We beat our opponent, so let's see how everything plays in the new event. If I run into any bugs, I guess I can kind of be the canary in the mine for you guys, and you can see that there are bugs, but hopefully there aren't any and everything's going to run smoothly. So, all right, Matrimonium. So we've got a vampire node over here. Win the fight with blood token with 6 or more shields and cast 4 or more creatures with the vampire subtype. And then transform 2 creatures with disturb and cast 4 creatures with base power 2. The event support is going to read... Alright, so this is going to be for the top node. Let's see. Creatures you control with base power 2 or less gain training. And when a creature you control trains, the first card in your graveyard that can gain mana gains full mana. Target creature you control without training gets... Okay, that's just going to make bringing things back from disturb really easy. And then when a creature enters the battlefield, if it's not a vampire, their controller loses. Otherwise, you gain 2 life. So every time you play a vampire, gain 2 life. Whenever you gain life, put 5 blood tokens on the battlefield. At the beginning of your turn, the first vampire in your card gets mana equal to the shields. Okay, this is going to be super easy. This is going to be super, super easy. Okay, so we need to cast 4 vampires, and the vampires we cast are going to make us blood tokens. So, really? So I'm going to go with this deck right here, using Domri. You obviously, yeah, famous bachelor last words, Cydrix. So let's go over the cards that I'm using here just a little bit, right? And the cards that I think you should actually be using. I would definitely suggest that you use Domri if you can. Domri's second ability is going to fetch the first 2 creatures from your library and give them 8 mana. So Domri's second ability is just going to be fetching creatures and make the objectives for this event really easy. The only problem is going to be that finding good vampires can be a little bit tricky. There aren't all that many great vampires, right? So if we go to vampire here, these are all of the vampires that you're able to use. So I don't have Olivia's attendance, but otherwise I'm doing pretty hot on the vampire front. I don't have some of the masterpieces yet, but I have all the other things. So in terms of like what are the vampires that I think are the best to use here, Bloodthirsty Adversary is definitely the end-all be-all best vampire to use because it has haste, and with the adversary drain, Once you've got your objective, you just haste swing and kill your opponent. Your opponent can destroy your blood token, and since you need to end the fight with the blood token, this sort of gives you a little bit more control in ending the fight and being safe. I actually really like the red gatekeeper for this fight because the opposite node is the disturb node. So your opponent's definitely going to be throwing a bunch of cards into their graveyard that they're going to try and bring back from the graveyard. And the cemetery gatekeeper is going to make it so that your opponents aren't going to be able to bring things back. Audric is pretty solid, just in that it's a 3/3 for 6. So any vampire that costs 8 or less mana, you're going to be able to bring back for free, or just play for free with Domri Second, because it gains 8 mana. But beyond that, if you're really struggling for some of those vampires, you can really go with just about anything as long as it has some level of power. You obviously are going to need to be able to kill your opponent. So things like Immersturm Predator are able to put out a fair amount of damage. That one's pretty good. In the non-mythic landscape, if you wound up getting lucky and you picked up Olivia's Attendants, this is actually going to be a really solid vampire to use in this deck, even though she only gains half of her mana. And then as for the rares, if this is Domri. I'm going to be using Domri for bottom node. I'll be showing my deck in just a moment. If you wound up buying Olivia, then there's a really cool deck that you can make using the Blood Tithe Harvester and Olivia. So what you do is you get the Blood Tithe Harvester down, and then you're just going to get a crazy blood token shield, because this is going to create the blood token, and then it's also going to make 5 more. And then you just activate black gems to give this thing imminent death, and then when it dies, you kill one of your opponent's creatures effectively. So what you do is you've got the Blood Tithe Harvester, you get it down, and then you have it gain imminent death to kill your opponent's creatures, and then you have Olivia just bring it right back to the battlefield. It's a combo that I really like, using Olivia, that you can use with this event. So that's another option to do that. Unfortunately, the vampires don't have a whole lot of power, so you may ultimately wind up wanting to use the third ability on Domri to reinforce your first creature every turn, and that's going to enable you to kill your opponent as well. So this is a deck that I'm going to be running right here. As I mentioned, I'm using Bloodthirsty Adversary and Cemetery Gatekeeper because they're both going to be auto casts on Domri Second. I'm running Gather the Pack just to fetch more creatures if I need them. I have You Meet in a Tavern because you'll see that I'm only running 2 creatures in the deck, and so You Meet in a Tavern is guaranteed going to fetch me 2 creatures. Which is really important because creature fetch is going to be really good since you have to actually cast them. And then the rest of the things in the deck are really mana or card draw. So Magnum Opus is going to be removal, card draw, and mana. Valakut is going to be mana. Valakut's Awakening is card draw and mana. Shatterskull Smashing is removal and mana. Binding the Old Gods is removal and mana. And Great Aurora is a safekeeping thing. So let's go ahead and jump into this first match, see what we go up against. We're up against a Gideon. Oh boy. All right, so the goal here is not to kill Gideon too fast. What am I running on top? I will show what I'm running on top. I've actually been streaming the deck that I'm going to be running on top for the past few days. So I will get there. This is a pretty terrible starting hand, as starting hands go. I know it's a coalition event, so having all of that mana isn't the worst, or all that removal isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's also not exactly what I wanted. So I haven't drawn any of my vampires, and now Moth Gideon is going to get a whole bunch of stuff. But wow, I get 5 tokens for my opponent playing creatures. That's beautiful. So here, am I going to get too much mana for this? No, I'm not. All right, so I'm going to get Valakut's Awakening, and I'm going to get Valakut out of this. So that's good. I'll get convert 6 gems to green, to red, which is going to be really, really solid here. So we're going to get a whole bunch of mana. I've got a Great Aurora. I absolutely don't want to use those Great Auroras now that I have my gem converters down. And I'm actually not too afraid of that right now. If things get out of hand, I do have some failsafes. What is my opponent even doing? Like, this deck does not achieve any objectives for this event. That's not a surprise, but it's annoying that the very first person I face is running a deck that has absolutely nothing to do with the event objectives. So, of course, that is the world we live in. with this game right now, but oh well. All right, so I've got one creature. That's good. Let's get 2 more creatures here. So 1, 2. And then they're both gatekeepers. Okay. So let's see. This is going to draw me 2. So why don't I play a gatekeeper, opus, gatekeeper, right? Yeah. Let's do gatekeeper, opus, gatekeeper. Yeah, that's going to be the way. So gatekeeper, we're going to exile the Blade Master. And I'm going to do Magnum Opus to get rid of my opponent's critter. Hey, Kevin. Happy Friday. Do you think you'll need attendance with that node on the board, but you see? I think I'm fine, honestly. I was going to get a Kaya. Do you think new Kaya or the Orzhov? I don't have any comment yet on new Kaya. I haven't played her very much. I've played like 2 nodes with her. But I will have an answer for Kaya. I just don't have one yet. However, I will say that is in large part because I'm not allowed to have an opinion that I share about Kaya just yet. So I will be sharing one. I'm just not allowed to yet because I've played with new Kaya. All right, did I get both? This is sweet. Okay, I have a ton of mana in my hand, which is great. So I don't think this is going to be quite enough to kill my opponent, though. So I do need to be careful. Oh my gosh, again? This is the 3rd straight stream, Ambery. Thank you so much. Wow, that is super generous. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my, I got distracted. Okay, hold up. So how much mana do I have in my hand that I can drain? I'll have 15, 30, 48. I'll have 48 mana that I can drain for the adversary, which is going to do a bonus 48 damage. I'm going to keep the adversary on lockdown here, actually. That might seem crazy, but I mentioned earlier that I don't want to actually play my adversary unless I know that I will end the turn with the required objectives complete, because I don't want my opponent to destroy my blood token. Remember, you have to end the game with the blood token, right? Oh gosh, another Shatter Skull Smashing? That stinks. All right, so I've got 30, 48. You can't drain mana from something with stored mana. So I'm going to have 48, 48, 58. I'm going to do, I think, 60. I think I'm going to do 60. So I'm going to hold off one more turn from killing my opponent here. Ooh, I could actually play the Magnum Opus and gamble on what I draw. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I only need to cast one more. Let's just see if Gideon destroys my board. Really? No? What does my first do? Draw a card, first 2 creatures in your hand gain Riot. You know what? Let's risk it for the biscuit. Let's risk it for the biscuit to get some mana. Cool. That'll allow me to kill my opponent. So we're at 30, 48, and then I'll get another 8, which is 50. Yeah, that's enough. Cool. We win. Okay. Just calculating. There we go. So just in the event that anyone was ever wondering, like, how is it that I go about playing events and why do I get perfect in events so often? I go perfect in events so often because I try to make sure that I don't end a match unless I'm going to kill my opponent. It gains 1/1 or haste. This thing already passively has haste, so I might as well just give it the +1/+1. And then that's going to kill my opponent, and that's going to be enough. So that makes it an easy first match. We definitely had 5 or more shields on the blood token, and we cast all 4 of our vampires. So that deck worked like a dream. That was actually really easy peasy. I think that we only get one. I think we only get one life to start with. If we get 2, I would really appreciate it, but I think we only get 1. So I'll definitely go ahead and check that out. But I'll show you guys the deck one more time. Oh, we get 1. We get 2 nodes. Perfect. I get to play it one more time. Hopefully against someone who's actually playing the objectives. Derpletion? What a beautiful name. So this is the deck I'm running. But yes, no, seriously. Ambry, thank you so much. I think adversary max level is 30. No. The adversary has no max level, actually. It's just based on how much mana you get. So adversary could have... it doesn't actually have a max level. I mean, that's not true. I'm sure that there is like some kind of maximum, but I've never reached it myself. I've gotten the adversaries into like the hundreds, and they've never capped out. But I've never gotten them into the thousands. So I'm just trying to get rid of the lights in the background a little bit. There we go. All right, let's play match number 2 against Teferi. Let's see how this goes. Teferi is actually a scary planeswalker to go up against, and I'm pretty sure that this one is going to be playing the objectives, just because Teferi is white-blue, and that's the color of most disturb things, so I am expecting to be up against a disturbing deck. I have a pretty great starting hand here. Yeah, I'll check that next one, Bongo. So let me play the first node of the next one. And then after I play the first node, I'll try and swap it up. Also, I forgot to give away free packs on yesterday's stream, so if you all would be so kind as to remind me, I would like to give away some free packs on the stream tonight. Okay, this is actually really deceptive. So let me show you guys. We've got this match right here, but I don't want to make this match right here, just to give you guys some idea of what's going through my head. Do I? I don't think so. If I take this match, this black one will drop down, and I'll get this, but this green will come down, and we'll get the 2 blue. So, okay, I'm not giving my opponent a 5 match. We're good. I was worried that I'd be giving my opponent a 5 match. Okay, let's actually have this here just in case. Let's see what happens. Okay, that works. And my opponent is playing Disturb. Okay, I thought so. Let's see. Do I have a good match that I can make here? Yeah, I absolutely do. Oh, I'm going to get myself too much mana for this, aren't I? No, I'm not. Okay. I'm going to Valakut Awakening away some removal just so I can get extra card draw. And of course, I give Teferi a 5 match. And of course, Teferi doesn't take the 5 match. So we're sitting pretty. This is where I think you're going to see, if I pull it, you'll see that the Cemetery Gatekeeper is going to come in seriously handy this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to draw 2 cards from that. And yeah, we're looking good. So I'm going to draw 2 cards from Magnum Opus. I'm going to destroy my opponent's creature. Those cards are both going to gain half mana. I get the Art Elemental, which is unfortunate. I absolutely don't want that. But I'm just trying to get myself closer to my second ability. And unfortunately, I'm not drawing any of my vampires. It's not a big deal. I don't actually need to draw any of them, but that's okay. Can you check to see if you satisfy the red blood token objective before the match ends? It may be once you hit 6 shields on the token that the screen shows the objectives are satisfied. I'll check, sure, yeah. It says it, but I don't have the check. So I think it's when you win the match. I'm not going to test having fewer, though, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want to test possibly losing the objective. My coalition mates would kill me, figuratively. Which would be bad. I don't want them to kill me. I'm going to get 2 more Vamps. I got 2 Adversaries, which is nice. And I actually have enough to Shatter Skull Smashing here, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and do that. And I'd like to get rid of my opponent's Disturb cards here. So I'm going to go ahead, get rid of all these critters with Disturb so they can't come back. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Disturb critter. And I don't think I'm in danger of killing my opponent too fast here. I just need to use my second ability one more time. I have a lot of gem conversion down. Well, of course, the blood token decides to mess me up a little bit, but such is life. I've actually got 2 You Meet in a Taverns here, so that could actually achieve what I need to do too. That could actually be just fine. Let's see. I've got a 5 match, so I should definitely take that. That's always how you want to start that off if you can. And I've already got an adversary in my hand, so I'd rather take the Gatekeepers to get rid of my opponent's cards that have Disturb. I don't want them to have the Disturb cards. I need to cast 3 more Vamps, and I have 3 Vamps in my hand, so I'm actually feeling pretty good about that part of the objective right now. So at this stage, I just want to try and maximize this particular match. And so the best way to do it is here. There's two different possibilities for a red secondary swap, which I get. I'm able to clear my opponent's graveyard. So my opponent definitely does not have anything in their graveyard right now with Disturb. And so next turn, I'm able to use my second ability. That'll get me up to another 18 mana. And the adversary I can cast and kill my opponent. So this should be game over this next turn. I have 34, 37, and that'll go up to 42. I'll have at least 42 on 36, 41 now, 41, but that's okay. I have 41 on that support. So we're going to use this. We get two adversaries, which is fine. I don't need either of them. I think I just need one. So I just need to cast one more creature. I'm going to cast the adversary, and yeah. They're just PvE with player-built decks. There are no live PvP events. DZ. So I just need to cast one more Vamp. Yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely good here. So let's just take the maximum amount of mana. Maximum amount of mana. So that's going to boost up my adversary enough to kill my opponent. It has haste, so we're definitely going to go ahead and finish them off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I know that this is a pretty mythic heavy build, so it definitely looks a lot easier in the way that I'm playing it. I recognize that. But the idea is I think pretty sound with using Domri as your planeswalker to fetch your critters and have you meet in a tavern and gather the pack to fetch your creatures. So, alright, here we need to cast 4 or more creatures with base power 2 or less, and we need to transform 2 or more creatures with Disturb during a fight. So that should be pretty easy. The only thing that I have to worry about is killing my opponent. So I'm going to be using Huatli 2. This is definitely going to be the planeswalker of choice for me here, just because I want to use white-green, and she's currently the best white-green planeswalker at our disposal. You could say that Tamiyo is white-green, and I could use Tamiyo, but I don't like Tamiyo, so I'm not using her. In Standard, I love her for Legacy. I don't like her for Standard. Her mana gains are just dog-do. This is the deck I'm going to be running. You don't need to have the whole deck. The only things that you really need to have for this deck to work well are going to be the Devoted Graphkeeper. I happen to think that the Devoted Graphkeeper and the Beloved Beggar are your two best options for Disturb. The Beloved Beggar only costs 1 mana to cast from your graveyard, so you just need to have it in your graveyard, and then you can just cast it for any white match. It's a 4/4 with Vigilance when it comes back, which is legitimately solid. And then on the other side, we have the Devoted Graphkeeper, which is going to be able to disable your opponent's creatures, and it comes back as a 3/1, which is pretty solid as well. So I do quite like that one. The other thing that you're going to need to make the dream work is Gather the Pack. And as long as you have those 3 cards, you can just sort of build around them. Now, you'll notice that I am using white-green, and I'm using white-green because Gather the Pack is green, and then the Beggar is white, and the Graphkeeper is white. So you do need to at least have white and green in your deck to be able to run this particular one. I'm running Harness Infinity to be able to bring a whole bunch of things back from my graveyard. You do want to be careful with Harness Infinity. You don't want to just keep tapping Confirm. If you keep tapping Confirm, you will eventually tap Confirm on a Great Aurora and blow up your board, and you definitely do not want to do that unless you're in a position where you're going to kill your opponent too quickly. Other than that, I'm running the Teferi Boys because Teferi provides way too much tempo and control to not use, and then the other Teferi is going to enable us to fill up our graveyard, which is really good. And then if we get Teferi big enough, we can turn all of our creatures into Vigilant, Prevent Damage, Flying Beasties that will be serving as excellent removal and control as well. I'm running Turn the Earth because this thing is going to give extra mana to the critters in my graveyard. Although I suppose I actually really don't need that because of the event support. So I'm going to get rid of that. Because it's entirely pointless. And I'm instead going to probably run Storm the Festival, maybe? Pick 4 cards, fetch them, and give things half mana if they're 15 or less. And most of the deck is 15 or less. So yeah, I'm gonna use Storm the Festival. It's a great way of refilling your hand, and Harness Infinity will give it mana because it has Buried. So I'm gonna try this out here, and this should be pretty good. I wanna confirm. I want to confirm this. It's going to be randomized, DZDo. So basically, what I've been thinking is I'll play a match, and then whoever is able to properly guess something from the match, whoever like submits a guess that's closest to being correct. So for example, let's say that I play a Nissa Worldwaker Phylath deck, then the question would be how many forest tokens will be on the battlefield at the end of the match, and the person who gets it correct will get the first pack, and I'm going to give away 2 packs. So basically I'll play 2 different matches with 2 different decks, and I'll have 2 different things that you guys can vote on for what you think will be the outcome. So that's how I'm going to give away the packs. Okay, so I've got... Yeah, I think this will be good. I think this will be good. Although the only thing that I have to worry about is if Tamiyo is going to be running... I don't need to worry too much about it. Tamiyo might be running that horrible thing. Test of Talents. That's it. Test of Talents. Use Unnatural Growth. I do not want to use Unnatural Growth and kill my opponent too quickly. I know it doubles your damage. I don't like it for coalition events. And here I actually have a 5 match to start things out, so that's pretty great, and it's going to give me a ton of mana. So this is ideal. This is super ideal actually. And we're going to get Teferi, and we're going to have removal. So that was a pretty perfect first match, and I'm going to get even more loyalty from this match right here. So I like this. This is a good start. This is a good start. Bongo, try and help me remember to swap planeswalkers. I know what Unnatural Growth is. I just don't want to use it in a coalition event because I don't want to accidentally kill my opponent too fast. It's a really, really good card. I'm not saying it's a bad card. And in Training Grounds, I love using it. I just don't want to risk that particular bag of worms for this particular event. Here, I'm actually going to be taking Gather the Pack, which might seem kind of crazy, but I do need to make sure that I'm drawing my creatures. So Harness Infinity is not going to let me cast my creatures, which is an actual problem. So I do need to be drawing. I do need to be drawing them, and I'm going to have to be drawing them with Gather the Pack. So we're just slowly pinging away at my opponent's 1/3. Which is totally fine. I should have actually used my first ability there. That was definitely a mistake. That was a very foolish mistake at that. So how am I doing on Harness Infinity here? I'm getting closer to it. Okay. I don't actually want to cast it yet though. So what I want to do, wait, do I have a possible green match or something like that? I do, but it's unlikely. I'll risk it. Let's see if we get that green match right there. No, we don't. That just gives my opponent another turn to potentially kill my first ability token, which isn't the end of the world. I'm not super worried about it. It's not like Tamiyo's first ability is something where you have to be super worried about that kind of thing. But here I'm actually going to get rid of the binding as much as I want the binding. I've already got plenty of removal in my hand, so I'm not actually that worried. And I do definitely want the Teferi Hero of Dominaria here. Because the Harness Infinity is going to give that thing buried. It's going to bring it back. So I do want that. So here, I'm going to go for the guaranteed mana. I'm going to go for the guaranteed mana rather than going for the risky plays. Then this one, do I want to bring you back? Sure, because you should, when a creature you control trains... I don't want to buff up my creatures right now. You know what? Sure, I'll buff you up just so you don't die. But that's it. I don't really want to do that. Okay. Blah. This is going to be the ultimate slogfest match, guys. I really like what I'm tossing in my graveyard here, though. So I'm actually just going to let all of this... I'm going to let all of this get tossed into the graveyard. Because I want another Harness Infinity to come back. That's definitely going to be good for me. And I actually do want that Great Aurora in my graveyard to potentially throw things away. So that's going to be pretty good for me. Yeah, I definitely want to do this. I get 4 cards, so let's take these 3. I definitely don't need the extra Gather the Pack. Let's freeze down my opponent's other creature. We'll play another Generous Soul. Another generous soul, we'll take it. We'll take another generous soul, sure. We'll take another generous soul, sure. We'll take another Teferi. That gets me almost to the point where I can do goodness with it. I don't need to disable anything because I will be killing my opponent's last creature. Yeah, Al Smartman has super big brains. He is much good at this game. The Overgrown Farmland is great because that's going to give the other creatures in my hand full mana. And that means that we've now completed the objective. Because that's going to cast 2 more creatures. Yeah, it's going to be 2 more creatures. So this is definitely... Fracture is a great card to add. Yes. So we'll have completed our objective next turn. So all objectives will be complete, which is good. I'm actually going to let my Teferi Vanguard go here, I think. I'm going to let this go because it's going to give all of these vigilance and prevent damage. So now, unless my opponent removes my whole board, my opponent is completely and utterly doomed. I want to make sure I still have Huatli's token on the battlefield. I do. That's perfect. So this is going to be pretty easy clap ending to this match. Unless my opponent plays Ruinous Ultimate. Oh, it doesn't exist. Sorry. Yeah, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy time. I should pull another one of my lands out. I do want a free Teferi, because who doesn't want a free Teferi? Everybody wants free Teferis. We'll give our creatures more buffs. And all right, this should be enough to kill Tamio. This next turn, I hope. And then yeah, my opponent can just swing into my immortal creatures and oh no, Tamio froze my creatures down. So now my other creatures are going to be swinging into Tamio. I don't need this Great Aurora anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it. I'm going to use the Empire's Warcry. One of the other really cool low-key things about this deck, by the way, is you see how I have 4 creatures out? And Tamio's abilities are based on the number of creatures you control. Not creatures including reinforcements, just creatures. So you're actually able to do some pretty cool things with Tamio. I'm going to go ahead and let Storm the Festival go down here, and let's see. I don't need this Teferi right here. Nobody does right now. So I'm going to get another Great Aurora. I suppose I don't need all those Great Auroras, but whatever. My opponent, I don't want my opponent to have a good match because I'm not going to be killing my opponent this turn. So I actually don't need that Binding the Old Gods. That's actually what I'm going to be throwing away. I'm going to Storm the Festival. I'm going to take Gather the Pack, and I'll take another Harness Infinity because I wouldn't mind getting more for that. I love my Discord. I legitimately love my Discord. The people that are in my Discord are an absolutely amazing community. Yeah, there's the 100% all smart men. The top node is an absolute pain in the butt. There's absolutely no question about that to me. It's just so slow. It's so slow because you can't kill your opponent quickly. So you kind of are just stuck having to do this here and just slowly but surely whittle them down, which is kind of my nightmare. Not actually, but like now I've got a Teferi with 18 shields. Oh jeez. Well, jeez. These don't have trample, do they? They don't. Ugh. My creatures don't have trample. Yeah, my Discord's a surprisingly safe place, just because the internet is such a terrible place. But I'm legitimately glad that things have shaken out how they have, because I'm a very non-toxic person. I just get really uncomfortable around general toxicity, so I'm really glad that I don't have to deal with that toxicity in my Discord. Let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna keep throwing these away for now. Oh my gosh, this is figuratively killing me. I'm not gonna be tapping the Great Aurora. I just need 2 of the sagas to come down here. I just need 2 sagas, and the game ends. Please, that's not a saga. That's just a bunch of creatures. All right, I need to stop letting Harness Infinity cast from my graveyard. I think that's the moral of the story, right? We have to have that stop happening. Oh, okay. Please just don't wipe my board state, and we're good. Thank you. Ugh. Yes, transform 2 creatures with disturb. That was hard. Uh-huh. Okay. Yep. Boom. That was a mistake. That was a darn mistake right there. That was a darn shame. No. 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 Just kill the opponent, please. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to test Bongo's question. Bongo wanted to know if we can swap out. And so we're going to go ahead and test that. We're going to see if we can swap our Planeswalker to something else. I'm not actually going to. I just want to see if you can. So, let's see. I'm going to use a potion. We're going to hit continue. And let's just see if we can. That's the wrong thing. Yes, you can. Bongo. You can swap your Planeswalker. I imagine if we get to this screen, that means you can, right? So we're not locked. Right? I'm going to wait before I hit fight, but I'm pretty sure that means it's not locked. Because when it's locked and you hit switch, all you see is the Planeswalker that you're using. When it's unlocked, you can just go here and you can scroll through your Planeswalker collection. So yes, you can swap your Planeswalkers out in the middle of the event. Okay, we're up against Bolas this time. We can do this. We can do this. I'm confident in beating Bolas. Not very, but I'm confident that we'll be able to beat Bolas. We have 2 ways of getting rid of Test of Talents using supports. So that's definitely going to help. And we have an amazing starting match. So, yeah, I'm good with this. And I have a Gather the Pack. Okay, so I want there to be as many green gems as possible on the board. Oh, man. What to do? Thank you, Cydrix. I'm going to do this one. Because this could get me a bunch of extra matches, and I want that. Okay, so I have all 4 creatures in my hand that I need to cast. Oh no, another Gather the Pack. That's bad. Okay. Yeah, I have all the necessary creatures here. So at this point, what's the play, guys? What's the play? I think the play is to get rid of the black match here and get an extra green match so that we're taking away my opponent's mana, and then to complete an objective. So, all right. We've got 1 objective down. And we're up against a vampire deck, because of course we are. And then here, between Gather the Pack and Teferi, I would rather get Teferi down. Actually, you know what? Given how this node works, let's do Gather the Pack. Because we're just going to be getting stuff back for free really, really easily, I think. With matches. Please don't take my white match. Thank you. Hey, Squill Myth, if you're in here, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. Okay, we want the white match here. I think I have Huatli's token down. I do. So this will get me a bunch of loyalty, which is good. We're definitely going to let things come back from the graveyard, and I definitely want to be buffing up my Vigilant thing. Yeah, you know what? Let's buff up this thing this time. I want to spread out my buffs. I have my 3rd ability already, which is really good. That means that I've got a pretty consistent source of mana now. And so even though my opponent is starting to develop a creature army, I'm not super worried about that. So I think I've completed the creature objective, right? I've completed all objectives. I just need to win. Yeah, I have. So I'm going to get rid of the beggar here. I'm actually going to get rid of that farmland. I just need 1 of them. I would like Teferi still. I definitely would like Harness Infinity. So, you know what? I'm going to do Teferi and then Harness Infinity. Nope. Teferi is 15 mana, and this will give each of the Teferis 18. Oh, it's not going to give it to all of them, but it'll give it to most of them. So yeah, let's use Harness Infinity. Let's just get rid of my whole hand. And let's get rid of the red match because my opponent wants red more. Yes, there is emoji thing, Gimabab. I don't fully understand. It's been a long time since I lived in Japan, so the whole emoji thing is a little bit alien to me, but it's okay. So when I lived in Japan, oh my gosh, almost 15 years ago now. I lived in Japan for just over a year, and in Japan, they started using emojis to talk way before we did. Like their keyboards for their cell phones and whatnot had emojis, and so it was actually expected for you to type with emojis. So I got used to typing with emojis in Japan, and then I got back and started using them on my my American keyboard, and all my friends made fun of me. So I developed this hatred for them, and I just completely stopped using them. And now everybody else is using them, but I still have that deep-seated dislike of them. So I still don't use them, but I know that there's absolutely no problem with them. That's not me saying don't use emojis. It's just for me using them, just because I got made fun of so much for using them. All right, we're sitting pretty here. Gosh, this is so slow. All right, at the very least, we kill Bolas next turn, I think, right? We're gonna be close this turn. Wait, no, we're gonna kill him this turn, aren't we? We're gonna kill him this turn. Cool. Game over. All right, so that's perfect through the first. That's perfect through the first set of nodes. Yeah. You know why the hipster burned his tongue on his coffee, right, L Smart Man? It's because he had to drink it before it was cool. True story, actually. You know, like, that's one of the things about making the tier list is that, like, everyone has their own opinions and feelings about, like, where a planeswalker should be. And so, like, I know that there are people who just don't watch who will not watch my tier list because they just don't agree with where I placed things. Oh no. But that said, like, the thing about it, right, is that any tier list that someone's going to make is ultimately going to be subjective unless they're doing it purely out of data. And even then, we don't have access to that data. So I think that the only way that you could actually make a legitimate tier list off of data would be to know how often each of the planeswalkers are used, and then what are the win rates of those planeswalkers, and then in events, what are the rates for each planeswalker that they achieve 100% of objectives. And so if you were to collate all of that data and put it together, I think that you could make an objective tier list for the planeswalkers. But as we don't have that data, I feel like any tier list that's going to be made is ultimately going to be subjective. So I don't know. I'd be interested to hear if anyone else in chat has opinions on Tyvar Kell and where they would place Tyvar. I don't actually have Tyvar. So I don't have him, so I could be totally wrong about Tyvar. I don't have him. And then as for Lolth, I do have Lolth. Bongo actually mentioned in patron chat how good of a match Lolth is in conjunction with the new masterpiece Gristlebrand. So I'm definitely going to try that out as soon as I get Gristlebrand. I think there's a lot of people who have made some really good points about Lolth at the very least being a B tier walker instead of a C tier walker. And I think that I agree with most of the arguments that people have made about her. I don't personally like her over a planeswalker like Ob Nixilis, and I think I have Ob in the B tier. And I don't know that I like her more than like a lot of the Lilianas, but that's just me. So I was a math teacher. Actually, I taught math. I taught game theory and like board game strategy classes, stuff like that. I actually had a whole class based around Settlers of Catan, in which I taught like geography, history, economics, statistics, and gaming through Settlers of Catan. That was maybe my favorite class that I ever taught. But yeah. Okay, so those are all of my nodes for the Matrimonium. And so I'm going to... thank you, Rob. I'm going to move into the Training Grounds match. And you know what? For the first pack that I'm giving away, I don't think that they're in the vault right now, but they're going to be Crimson Vow pack. No, Midnight Hunt. They're going to be Midnight Hunt packs. Oh, wait, hold up. I got a Crimson Vow pack from this. Let me open my pack. This could be a new card. Very low chance of it being a new card, but I could actually get a new card from this. So let's see if I get a new card. Nope. No new cards. It's okay. The likelihood of me getting a new card is incredibly low. But I will open packs. So not open. I will give away packs. So the first pack that I'm going to give away. Let me make sure that I'm stating what the pack is correctly. So I have to go back to I have to go back over here to check it out. But it's one of like the pay to play packs where you have a boosted chance of getting rares and mythics. So they're the kinds that have, here, I'll show you. There's a pack sort of like it. This kind, right? Where you have these like super odds of getting stuff, although it's going to be a third for each. So it's something like 21% chance to get a mythic. The rare is actually, I think, higher than the 30%. But you've got really, really reasonable chances. So this first pack that I'm going to be giving away is the Midnight Hunt Dawnheart Coven booster. So it's going to be a Midnight Hunt Dawnheart Coven booster. And so the way that you're going to be able to earn this Midnight Hunt Dawnheart Coven booster is going to be... So the reason is going to be... how do you earn it? I am going to do the Nissa deck. I think that the Nissa Phylath deck is a fun idea because it can go so many different ways. So let me show you the deck I'm using, and the person who is closest to the guess for how many forest tokens I get will get the pack. It's just, the only thing is if you've already earned a pack from one of my giveaways, you can't earn a pack from this one. But that's it. That's the only thing. To give you an idea, if you're unfamiliar with the deck is going to be using Whispers of Zendikar is going to create forest tokens. That's going to be our first ability. Our second ability, Worldwake, is also going to be able to make tokens. The Phylath itself is going to be able to make a whole bunch of tokens. And for good measure, we've got things like the Prismatic Bridge, which will also get us more tokens. In the fact that it's going to get us more Phylaths, and we've got Turn Timber Symbiosis, which is going to enable us to get more Phylaths. So I'll give you all I'll give you all like 2 minutes to throw in your guesses, and then we'll see who's the most correct. Jeez, All Smart Man is just throwing out a number that's not going to happen. 42,069. I mean, I do appreciate that you're using 42, 420, and 69 all in the same number, but that's definitely not going to... it's not going to win. Okay, so DZ Doe is guessing 230 tokens. Remember, whoever is closest to the number of tokens that comes down is the one that's going to be getting that pack. In order to get the pack, you will have to send me... And so you'll have to go on Discord, and you'll have to send me a private message, and you'll have to send me your UID. That does include the pack from the poem, Rob. Yes. So am I going to try and win quickly or just go crazy tokens? So I am going to try and win, but not necessarily quickly. I'll try and get as many Phylaths out as I can. Okay, so Kyphonis is saying 80 tokens. So we've got 252 tokens, okay? Chewbacca's guessing that we're going to go big. Yeah, I mean, you can get crazy high numbers. It's just rarer to get crazy high numbers typically because you're going to kill things. Okay, so if your actual guess is 80, L Smart Man, since Kaifanis has already guessed 80, do you want to guess a number 660? Do you want to guess under 80 or over 80? So you can guess like 79 or 81, or you can mess around with something around that range. But just since we already have an 80, $1. Since we already have 80, you'll wanna change that. All right, so 111. So I'll take Al Smartman's final number, and then I'll go for the match, and we'll see how we do. 81 to be different. You got it. Okay. So if it's anything less than 80 forest tokens, then just by default, Kaifanis is gonna win. So let's do this. Okay, our guesses are in. It's time to duel. I feel disgusting for having said that. Please disregard me. Okay. Ew. Well, I think that the best way to get as many of these tokens down as possible is to try and go for loyalty. And so that loyalty into green match is pretty tempting, but this could get me a big cascade. Yeah. So turn 1 prismatic bridge. And I have a very strong feeling that our 80 is going to be the winner if we just got a first turn Tanazir. Tanazir is going to make it so that we're not going to be able to get that many tokens down because we're just going to kill our opponent. The first Phylath that comes down is going to end the game. That's just gonna be how it goes. Oh god, there's 2 of them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, first Phylath is gonna end the game here. For sure. Unless I use what's it's unless I use the Great Aurora. Or my opponent could wind up killing my stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be game over here. This is the end. This is the end of the match. You know what? Let's see if we can make it go bigger. You know what? We'll try. I'll at least try, but I don't think we will. That's true. I don't have to buff, but I am going to buff. I'm gonna do this. This has the highest. You know what? We're gonna try and go for as much mana as we can. So let's take 2 more Toon Timbers. Let's convert, and even with the conversion, we're not gonna be able to get enough. We're gonna take another Phylath to get some more of these. Look at this. We're gonna have like 30 tokens. Oh man, 80 is gonna win just because. 25 tokens. Oh, geez. 377 to the face. All right. Kaifanis, if you would send me a message in Discord, just send me your UID, and I'll see that you get your booster pack from Octagon. So that's booster pack number 1. I didn't cast a creature. Look at that. I got like 30 creatures down, and I didn't cast a single creature. Okay. So for the next challenge, right? The next challenge is going to be... There's still one more pack. There's still one more pack. So for the next one, let's do this one, right? Let's do this one. I'm going to play my Degenerate Tybalt deck. And the person who is able to most closely guess the level of Tainted Adversary will get the other pack. So whoever is able to most closely guess the level of Tainted Adversary at the end of the match gets the other pack. Let me see what. Let me really quickly pull up the packs so that I know. So you get the Dawnheart Coven. So this is going to be Kaifanis. I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in right now. So the next one's going to be Errant Souls. Errant Souls is the other booster pack I'm giving away here. And the Errant Souls booster pack is another one of those boosted odds. It's going to be based on spirits and whatnot. So yeah, if you want If you want to be entered in to win the other booster pack, you need to enter a guess that is going to be the closest thing. What do you think Tainted Adversary's level will be at the end of this match? To give you guys an idea, for those of you who have not played with Tainted Adversary, because I recognize that many of you probably haven't played with this card, right? It's only going to be able to drain the mana from the cards that I have in my hand. So like the very maximum possible it could be would be if I had 4 Prismatic Bridges and 2 Blood on the Snows with fully charged mana in my hand. And actually that isn't even possible. It would be 3 Bridges, 3 Blood on the Snows. So the very maximum number is going to be 45 and 60, which is a total of 105. So 105 is going to be the maximum. 105 would be the maximum. That said, I have only ever gotten Tainted Adversary over level 100 once. Tainted Adversary usually kills at a much lower level than that. So I'm just going ahead and showing you guys that. So any real guess should be less than 100. And significantly less than 100. I think that you're probably going to be best off in the 15 to 60 range. So 15 to 6. Yeah, this deck is Degenerate Kyphonis. This is the one that I run for the event that came out in the last... I run this in events where we don't have any cap on killing our opponent, and I run it always if there's no cap on killing the opponent, because Tybalt's second ability gives your tokens haste, and so the Tainted Adversary tokens are going to have haste. Bongo, 69. All right, so we got 45, 54, 30, 33, 37. These are much better guesses. These will actually be close. I'll give another 30 seconds for last guesses, and then I'll do that. 25, okay. I will tell you now that I have only ever once cast more than one of them, Rob, because I'm going to be getting my second ability down, and then I'm going to be killing my opponent. So the moment that I play the first one, my opponent's going to die. They will not survive a second one. Okay, I'm gonna take. I'll take this where we're at. We've got 45. No, okay. Our lowest is 25. So we've got 25, 30. Rob, you have won a pack. Kyphonis, you can't win this one, but why don't you two guess for fun? So we've got 18. Kevin is guessing 43, and I'm starting. So that means as soon as the match starts, I'm not taking any more guesses. So we got 18, 30, 30. 45, sorry, 33, 37, 45. Okay, cool. Cool. No doubt. And now we're going to be using Tybalt versus Tybalt. Oh, and in the event that I play 0 of them because I die, then the answer is 0. No, we'll play another match. So, all right, I have a Tainted Adversary in my hand to start the game off. Because, you know, that's how the game wants to make this happen. Okay. I approve. I approve most handily, my lord. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and get some mana. We're going to get some removal going because my opponent is playing the same deck. Okay, let's do this. I bet that Oprah Stomper's playing the same deck. Buddy. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and have my flash removal card ready. So, let's see. What's the name of the game here? The name of the game here is going to be to not die to my opponent's Tainted Adversary. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go for loyalty here. Oh, crud. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was giving my opponent a 5 match. Yikes. Mega yikes. Super yikes. Supremo yikes. Bad yikes. Dislike yikes. Oh man. Okay. This is good though. This is good. We're gonna get rid of my opponent's thing. We're gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Tainted Adversary, and now I'm gonna have a flash. I'm going to have flash removal. So if my opponent does the same nonsense that I'm doing, I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll be good. It won't matter. We'll be safe. So we're looking good. Any of you guys who guessed a higher number right now are probably going to be closer. More likely. That's my guess. My guess is it's going to be a higher number right now just because of these really high mana cost cards in my hand. And I already have a Tainted Adversary. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess that the number is going to be higher. But we'll see. Because I just got that down, so I can actually play the adversary next turn. Ouch. Ouch. Mega ouch. I don't need to kill that thing, though. Okay. Nahiri's Lithoforming really does not help me for what it is I want to do here. You know what? Let's get rid of Nahiri's Lithoforming. That's not going to do us any good. I'm going to use Imposter's Trickery here just to get the token down. And we aren't exiling my opponent's thing because of course. We're just going to try and get as much mana this turn as we can. And then next turn I will probably play the Tainted Adversary. Just because I don't want to risk something absolutely terrible happening to me here. So, do we get a good cascade going here? No, we don't. But do we have enough to kill our opponent? Let's see, we've got 18, 20. I've got at least 20 here. And then this is going to be 40. So maybe one more turn? Maybe one more turn? Right? Let's see. Let me think. So I'm going to get 4 and 5 for 9. I'll get 9 more mana. So I've currently got 15, 22. If I get 9 more mana, that'll put me at 31. And 31 will make enough to kill Tybalt. So it's going to be 31. 31 is going to be the final number unless I get a super cascade. So let's do it. I'm looking to see if there's a better match. But 31 should kill my opponent. So this should be level 31. And that should be enough to kill my opponent. Did I get it? I got it wrong. It's 33. Someone guessed 33. Who guessed 33? You are right on the money. Because this is going to kill my opponent. Anesti. Anesti, you're going to win this. Unless my opponent somehow doesn't die here and I mess it up. But your guess was 33, and it's exactly 33. So that's going to be 66 tokens, which is going to be 132 damage, and Tybalt's not going to take 132. So, yeah. Well, Anesti Staff. Anesti Staff is the winner, I think. Because it's going to be 33. I think I kill my opponent here, right? Because it's just a taste. Yep. A taste. That's the winner. So, Anesti, if you would also send me in Discord, let me just write your name down here on my sheet for Octagon. Great job. You guessed it exactly. 33. Good job. So you'll be getting the second one of the packs. You'll be getting the Errant Souls booster. And this is going to be from the Matrimonium live stream. Is today the 17th? On 10/17. Yeah, great guess. Matrimonium live stream on 10/17 is when it was, so they can cross-reference it. Oh, well, on the date. I just get to put the date on it. 10/17. 10/17. I'm just putting this all down right now. I actually have... So here's the thing, All Smart Man. I actually have another 5 booster packs to give away. Kaifanis won the first booster, and Anesti won the second booster. So I have 5 more packs to give away, but I'm hoping to be able to stream next week on... Let's see, today's the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 22. So I think I've got 3 more... 3, 4, 5. I have maybe 5 more streams. I'm hoping to be able to stream tomorrow, the day after, day after, day after, day. I think I have 5 more streams and I have 5 more packs to give away. So I want to have 1 pack for each stream to give away. So I'll be giving away packs for all of my streams. I could actually ask Octagon to give me more packs to give away. They might be willing to give me some Crimson Vow packs. They always ask me when I'm going to be streaming again so they can give me stuff to give to you guys. I just wind up forgetting to give away stuff sometimes. So yeah, I want to give away all of my Midnight Hunt stuff first, and then I'll ask for some Crimson Vow stuff to give you guys. But Kaifanis and Anesti, congratulations on winning some packs. That's really cool. I'm glad I'll be able to give away some stuff. So I'll be checking after the stream closes on Discord for your UID and stuff. And then, yeah. So go ahead and send it to me. If your Discord name is different than your name here on YouTube, I'll have you do one other thing for me to verify that it's you. But that's it. Sorry, 1017, 1217. Thank you. I put 1017 on the thing. Whatever. That's fine. We're good. We're gravy. So with that, yeah. I think that was basically what I was hoping to show for this stream right here. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow is tomorrow I'm going to have a stream a little bit earlier in the day, I think. I'm going to try and do it midday since tomorrow's a weekend. It's Saturday. And I'm going to play all of the loaded nodes for the Matrimonium again. And then I'll do some more challenges for some free packs for you guys. So I can give out some more stuff just because I think it's fun to get more free stuff. If you're wondering why I'm always looking at the side, by the way, maybe I should just move my camera there. We'll see. I don't know. It's because I'm looking at my... my camera doesn't fit on this one. Oh well. It's because that's where chat is. So I look over so I can see you guys and what you're saying and all that kind of stuff. So let's do this. I'll take on like it's 12:18 in China. You're in China right now? Wild. Okay. Well, so I live in California, so it'll be tomorrow my time. So tomorrow, probably sometime around 2:00 Pacific is my guess when I'll stream. So we'll see. You know what? I want to do one more thing. I want to play one more thing. I want to do one last match here, definitely right here with the training grounds, just with some new cards or something. So let me check. And if there's anything that you guys want to see, by all means, let me know. So as I'm going through my stuff, if I go through anything and you're like, oh, Nalthazar, I want to see that card being played, just let me know. And I'm happy to play with some stuff that you guys want to see as well. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that I haven't tested yet that I really want to test. Yeah, he guessed 80, but there weren't any guesses below 80. So anything below 80 meant that he was just guaranteed going to win. Let's see. When a creature you control dies, target opposing creature... Wow, this card is terrible. Really? That's not good. Okay, that's not one that I actively want to test. Is there anything else I want to test that I have not yet tested? I've tested a lot of the cards from the new set that I have. Let's see. I think I have the blue one. Oh, I want to play Huntmaster again, I think. I want to play Huntmaster again. Just because Huntmaster is really fun. And if you guys haven't seen how Huntmaster of the Fells works, I really want to play that one. So... I'm just looking. Yeah, there's nothing else here. Oh, actually, there is something that I want to check out with this. No, it doesn't give it full mana, does it? There's an angel. There's an angel from one of these sets that brings stuff. This. When you cast this, with 6 or less, you're going to go to the battlefield with their reinforcements. Okay, but it doesn't give them full mana. So, okay. That's not what I wanted. We're going to do a Huntmaster deck. I don't have Gristlebrand yet, Rob. I want Gristlebrand really badly, but I don't have Gristlebrand yet. So... Alright. I'm going to go ahead and play with Huntmaster of the Fells. Because Huntmaster is absolutely ridiculous. That card is totally busted. Correct, DZ. Correct. Yeah, so Tanazir buffed all the tokens, but I only had like 25 tokens on the battlefield. I think that's actually exactly as many as I had. I had 25 tokens. So for those of you unfamiliar with what Huntmaster of the Fells does, I should show off the card. And then I'll make the deck, right? So I'm going to make a deck around Huntmaster of the Fells. Cultivator Colossus is beautiful. Oh, you got Huntmaster today. Nice. It's an amazing card. I think you will like this deck then. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys what Huntmaster of the Fells does. So here's Huntmaster. Huntmaster is yes, that is correct. For the guessing tokens and not buff value. Huntmaster of the Fells is a masterpiece from the newest set. I think it's one of the 2 best masterpieces in the set. I think Gristlebrand is up there. I think Gristlebrand would probably have a better use in... Oh my gosh. I don't have a dog. The dog that you... So, okay, hold on. My family, we bought this house. We bought a new house, and we have this beautiful house. We're right on a nature preserve, right on the mountains. Like, if you look out my window, all you see are the mountains. You don't see any other houses. You just see that. And when we moved in, on one side of us, there was sort of an elderly couple. And they're very quiet, and they keep to themselves, but they're really nice. And then on the other side, we had a guy whose job it was to make people feel comfortable in knowing that they live in a place that used to be near a nuclear testing site. And so he wound up moving with his family to Tennessee about a month after we moved into our new place, and we got a new group. You're Scrounger, really? I love your comments in my Discord. Like, seriously, they're very well thought out. That makes a lot of sense, Rob. Between the comments that you posted on mine and Gaz's with regards to those like poems and those longer stories that you've written, and then your commentary in Discord, that puts 2 and 2. It's good to always put a sort of, pseudo face to a name or another name to a name, but nonetheless. Wait, that's where the camera is. So yeah, anyways, the new people came with a dog. That dog gets let out of their house at 6 a.m. every day, and it barks like that from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. every single day. And then they drill through concrete or something in their backyard. They have like a saw that they bzzz through concrete slabs. They do that from about 2 to 4 p.m. every day. And then they let that dog out again at some random point in the night, and they'll leave it out for hours. It drives me nuts. So I don't actually have a dog. I will never have a dog again. I love dogs, which is why I can't have a dog. But anywho, Huntmaster of the Fells. So this is a 2/2. It has transform. When it enters the battlefield or it transforms, you create X doggo tokens, and you're going to gain X life, where X is this creature's power. And then when it transforms, it enters the battlefield or transforms, you're going to deal damage to each opposing target. Each opposing support is going to lose shields, where that number is going to be equal to the number of doggo and doggo creatures you control, including the reinforcements. So yeah, we have mountain biking out here. We have hiking out here. Like every day, I walk maybe 30 feet down to the end of my street, maybe a little bit more because there's 2 houses between us and the end of the street. And I have 3 hiking trails that I can go to in the one direction, and then I have the other direction 2 more that I can go. And it's absolutely my favorite place to hike in Southern California. So it's great. And it's been raining here all week, so once in about a week and a half or 2, it's just going to be absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, Ravager of the Fells basically just board wipes your opponent every single turn. It's really bad. It's good. It's really bad for your opponent. You definitely want to play Huntmaster of the Fells together with the Celestis. The Celestis is definitely going to be your friend with the Huntmaster of the Fells. And if you have new Arlen, you're going to have a heck of a lot of fun running Arlen with Huntmaster, because Huntmaster is going to make an absolutely ridiculous number of doggo tokens, and Howl of Command, the second ability of Arlen the Pack's Hope, makes it so that your first doggo gets leader doggo. So the combination of Howl of Command with Huntmaster of the Fells makes you get like a Doggo Chalupa Supreme, which is amazing, minus the diarrhea that Taco Bell would normally give you. So it's a good time. So here we're going to go ahead. The other card I'm going to use is maybe going to be Primal Adversary, just because Primal Adversary makes a bunch of doggos. And so just between the 2, we're going to be getting a heck of a lot of doggos and making the doggo count get really high. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Celestis. Celestis is going to make it so that we transform between day and night more readily. And the more that Huntmaster is transforming, every time it goes to day side, it just winds up souping itself up by making a bunch of doggos and gaining you a bunch of life. And every time it goes to the night side, it fully wipes your opponent's board. Creatures and supports, all go bye-bye. So the other things that you're going to want to run with the Supreme Doggo Lords are going to be, you're going to want to have gem conversion. So you're going to be either looking to go green or red. I'm going to go and throw in the Prismatic Bridge. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my Saga. I'm going to go ahead and throw in Realms Uncharted. I'm going to go ahead and throw in Turntimber Symbiosis. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some Convert Green stuff. We actually really like the Lair of the Hydra because Lair of the Hydra is going to buff up Supreme Doggo Lord. And remember that the stronger Doggo Lord is, then the more doggos that he's going to make. So we want that. That's very good. And then, let's see, we want some more green conversion. I think that Arlen actually gets a bonus from blue. She does. So we're going to definitely throw in a Rixmethus because this is the best land in the game right now for standard. And for our final card, I'm feeling pretty good about our removal here, honestly. But I still am going to want one more thing to convert. So let's go ahead and throw one more Convert Green in because gem conversion is our friend. And I can't throw in any more green converters. Rip the dream. We must throw in a support. A spell, I mean. All right, what other spells do we want? What could be fun? What could be fun with Huntmaster? I could use you meet in a tavern just to make sure I get my Huntmaster. That could make some good sense. Eureka Moment would draw me cards and convert gems, which could make some good sense. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Reclaim the Wastes. That's going to get me... So here's the thing. When you're playing this deck, there's a few things that you need to know. The first of those things is that you want to make sure that you get Huntmaster of the Fells down first. This is essential. You want Huntmaster of the Fells down first because you'll see that Arlen's ability gives your first non-token creature with the wolf or werewolf subtype, Leader Wolf. So you've got two choices. Choice one is you only run Huntmaster of the Fells as your only wolf. Or choice number two, you just make sure that you're a little bit more particular and you make sure that Huntmaster gets down first. So you'll notice that I'm not... it's ridiculous. It just converts so much. So you're not gonna want to play the Prismatic Bridge until you're sure that you've got a Huntmaster out first. And I've got a Turntimber, I've got the Lair, and I've got Celestis. So you're definitely absolutely gonna see some ridiculousness happen in this match with Huntmaster of the Fells. So I'm gonna go ahead, take that first match. Unfortunately, it's gonna become nighttime, which is the big problem with Arlen. It's basically always nighttime with Arlen. And you basically never want it to be nighttime with Arlen. But you don't really have a choice. And let's see. Well, this should give me enough to cast my Turntimber, which will also get me gem conversion. Oh, this is going to give me 2 sets of gem conversion. This is beautiful. The other really good thing is that Turntimber Symbiosis is going to actually buff Huntmaster of the Fells. So Huntmaster is actually going to get the +6/+6 buff. But of course, the transform messes it up. Rip. Alright, so I want to get the Celestis down now. Let's see. I definitely want to get the Celestis down. Yeah, I like running more card draw in general too. I was actually pretty strongly considering going with what's it called? Come on, Michael. You can get there. You're a smart lad. Or at least you think you are. I was thinking of going the red landforming cards, just because then you can run Valakut's Awakening, but ultimately I'd rather be able to fetch. So this is great, actually, because it's now day, and so if it can be day when it comes back to my turn again, that would be the best, because now... Okay, cool. Yeah, great. We get to give the Huntmaster, we get to give her Leader. So Huntmaster is going to become a Leader. Huntmaster is going to eat up all of the doggo tokens. And then, let's see, we're going to get the Celestis and Turntimber. So, which of these is going to be the way? I think that the way is going to be to take the green match and hope that we get a cascade. Because I'm not quite going to get what I want here. Oh, I got the Celestis. So now if my opponent plays nothing, okay, my opponent plays nothing, so now this thing is going to transform. It's going to transform, it's going to do 46, no, it's going to do 11 to everything, right? It's going to do 11 to everything. Day shift, I get to discard, sure, I'll discard. I drew into basically nothing. And then, let's see. I kind of want to shift back to day, but I don't think that my opponent is going to survive even if I shift back to day here. I think my opponent's just dead, right? So let's see. If we shift back to day, will my opponent be able to survive is the question. No, they're dead because I'm going to make a whole bunch of wolf tokens, an absolutely unreasonable amount of wolf tokens. I'm going to make like, what, is this going to make like 50 wolf tokens? This is going to reinforce Huntmaster like 50 times. So the best way to contact me on Discord, Anesti, would be to, if you're not already in my Discord server, join my Discord server. There is a link to my Discord in all of my videos. There isn't one in the stream, but all of my videos, if you go to the description of any of my videos, it has a link to my Discord. And then you can join my Discord from there. And then in joining my Discord, you can just, you basically just type in my name in the Discord. It'll pull me up. And then you can just send me a direct message. I have it set so that people can send me direct messages from Discord, from my Discord. So, yeah. So I'll do one last match, and then this will be where I'm gonna end the stream. So I'm gonna do this one last match, and I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna give myself one last shameless plug. If you've enjoyed the stream, there's a link that you can always support the stream from. It is the Streamlabs link, and so you can support the stream from there. If you've enjoyed the stream and you want to just continue watching because you enjoy the stream, by all means, it means just as much to me to have you guys here, to have people to chat with. So I appreciate you all coming and spending some of your Friday night with me, and chatting with me while I got to play some Puzzle Quest. I actually really enjoy streaming Puzzle Quest because like it just makes it an even more social experience for playing it. So let's see. All right. So we get the Huntmaster. Unfortunately, it is nighttime, so the Huntmaster is not going to. Oh no, the Huntmaster does get the buff. The Huntmaster still gets the buff. Okay, cool. I was worried that the Huntmaster wouldn't get the buff. And now it becomes day, so the Huntmaster is going to make even more wolf tokens. It's actually going to make a whole bunch of them. Because her power just keeps getting greater. And then I'm going to have the Celestis filter my hand a little bit. That's a yikes, because my opponent... Oh, come on, give me my second. Darn. Oh, I'm going to get my second, but it's going to become nighttime. Curses. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I'm going to get my second, but it's going to become nighttime. So, I'm not going to be able to have my Huntmaster do quite what I wanted to do. Let's see. Do I want to get rid of the card at the bottom? Sure. I want to filter. Primal Adversary. Yep. We're going to make more dogs. We're definitely going to make more dogs. Okay. And then we're going to reclaim the wastes, because that's going to convert a bunch of gems. That might get me my Erixmethus, and hopefully we can make it daytime. Oh, that's a big stinker. We didn't get anything from that. All right, so it's going to become day. The Huntmaster is going to make 8 more dogs. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get leader on the Huntmaster quickly enough. Let's see, I've got an Erixmethus here, which I do like, but I'd rather see if I can get something else out. All right, please just play 1 card so that it stays day. Cool. All right. This doesn't make a huge difference, but it makes enough of one, because now I can turn the Huntmaster into a leader, and then I can flip the Huntmaster into her other side. So, actually, do I want to use the 3rd ability? No, I don't. Wait, I've already used my 2nd. I can't use another ability. Oh, I could if I got another swap. If I got a bonus swap, I could actually use an ability from the other side. But this will still flip the Huntmaster. So the Huntmaster is going to flip and just absolutely destroy my opponent's board state. Huntmaster's already at 110 power, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it's going to kill my opponent. So, yeah, you can see, like, the Huntmaster just buffs up so quickly. And you definitely, if you can, you do want to run Huntmaster with Celestis. You do want to be able to swap it back and forth as much as possible. And then Huntmaster in conjunction with Arlen, the Moon's Fury, is really fun. So that's definitely how I would go about doing it. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. I've got all my nodes done. I don't have any other nodes to do, and I want to make sure that I can get some dinner before it gets too late. So I've been eating dinner before. I've been eating dinner before the 7 o'clock streams, but yeah. So, anywho, thank you all so much again for showing up. I really appreciate it. Ambery, if you're still here, thank you again so much for supporting the stream. 3 streams in a row. That's absolutely crazy. Seriously, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you all for coming. So, yeah, I was just reading all of the comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. But, yeah, I hope you all have a good night. I hope you all have good luck with Matrimonium. I'll be streaming again tomorrow at around 2 o'clock Pacific. I'll be streaming all of my updated nodes for the Matrimonium. Which deck? Which deck, Kaifanis? I can show any of my decks before I go. Which one did you want to see? For Blood? You can actually also go earlier in the stream. You can actually you can rewind the stream. Actually, it's got the same timeline. But here, I actually have my Blood deck. I have my deck for the Bloods and I have my deck for the Crypts. So, this is the deck that I used. This is the deck that I used for the Blood node. The idea, real quickly, is you're using Domri because Domri's second ability is going to fetch 2 creatures and give them mana. And then for me, I'm running just vampires that cost 8 or less mana because that means that Domri is going to immediately be able to play those creatures. So it effectively becomes fetch 2 vampires, play 2 vampires. So it's going to immediately complete half of your objective. In that playing the 2 vampires is going to get you 10 blood tokens because of the event support, and you're going to get half of your vampires as well. I'm running the Cemetery Gatekeeper because this is going to exile all of my opponent's creatures with Disturb because we're going to be playing up against a lot of Disturb decks. And I'm running the Bloodthirsty Adversary because this is just going to swing and hit my opponent and just immediately end the game. So it lets me control the game's end time so that I get my... And it has haste, which makes it easier to do that. So I'm able to... make sure that I get the blood tokens at the right level because remember, and this is for all of you, remember, before you kill your opponent, you have to have the blood tokens at the end, right? It's that you need those blood tokens for the end because you have to have it right at the end of the match. It's not like at any point in the match you have to have the 6 blood tokens. You have to have 6 blood tokens at the end of the match. So everything else in the deck is removal and card draw. Gather the Pack is a solid option. You don't have to have the adversary. Do you have... Here, so here's the thing, right, about the vamps, right? So, if you're running Domri, you're going to run into the position where there really aren't that many great vampires for killing your opponent. There isn't a whole lot of power in the vampires, and the blood tokens are just entirely useless for all intents and purposes, as much as I hate to say that. So if you're playing Domri, with the vampires, you're going to want to try and use the strongest vampires that you have in your collection. So if you have Immersturm Predator, this one can get pretty big. This is a solid option. And this is also going to be exiling creatures from a player's graveyard, so you can get rid of all of your opponent's creatures with Disturb. And the Immersturm Predator is indeed a vampire, so that's a really good one. Unfortunately, the Zagra is actually, like power-wise, stronger for vampires, but it's not that good. So there isn't a lot of great stuff there. Alternatively, what you can do, if you want another option that's not Domri, because I recognize that not everyone's going to have Domri, is you run green for Gather the Pack to be able to fetch things, but more importantly, you meet in a tavern, run this with 2 vampires, and run green-black. So if you run green-black, you can do it with Garruk, or you can do it with Goth Nissa. And either way that you go about it, let's say that you were to do Garrick as an example, right? So you can just go ahead and we're going to put in the tavern. And we're going to put in gather the pack. And then you just go vampire. And you're going to have a lot more options here. Yeah, Zagra does kill vanguards, so it's going to help you get rid of Teferi, which is nice. But here, if you do it this way, you have a lot more deadly vampires at your disposal. So you've got the Westgate Regent, which is definitely the strongest one, but you definitely don't want this to come down early because otherwise you will not meet your objectives. You'll kill your opponent too fast. You have Draina, which is going to pair really nicely with Gather the Pack. The downside is that bringing things back from the graveyard does not count as cast, so you do need to be careful about that. Edgar is kind of cool, actually. Edgar just never dies, which makes it a righteous pain in the butt. The downside is that every time Edgar comes back, you're not actually going to be casting another Edgar, but it's still a pretty good option. But yeah, you've got some more options that are pretty good. You've got the Slafter Specialist, which is amazing, absolutely an amazing card. Definitely suggest. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can go. So, all right, that's it for me. I hope that helped answer your question, Kaifanis, and I hope this helps more of you guys do a little bit better in the event this weekend. If you have any other questions, by all means, stop by tomorrow. Feel free to ask me on stream tomorrow. I try to answer as many of the questions as I can. Hopefully this all is good stuff for y'all. This was fun. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you so much for watching.